And welcome to Brainstorming America. I'm Ken Rollins, and today's my co-host is here, John Merrill. John, good to see you,
my
buddy.
friend. Always good to be with you.
On the road again. And Jack Draper,
Rollins, how are you? Yes, sir.
the mayor
Good
of
to see you.
Anniston, Alabama.
John,
For you folks,
always good to see you.
Good to see you,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
for you folks out there that's all over our viewing area, all of you over there in Nebraska, Kentucky, and all those places, Jack is the mayor of the model city for the state of Alabama, and he took on a task when he got it, and he's made a lot of changes, and I hope we're going to talk about some of those today. And I'm going to turn him over to, because I know they've got whispering behind my back, got some planned things to discuss. But it's good to have you here, buddy. Good
Thank
to
you,
see
Ken.
you.
Always good to
We
be
see
here.
each other all the time, so I'm not going to play like we ain't seeing each other in a while.
We do, and let me thank you for your service to our community. You do such a good job with all the Veterans Day
Well, thank you.
programs
You-
all year round. We
There you
appreciate that.
I got an attaboy, John.
No doubt, no doubt.
I got a few to pass around.
We are so excited. We are so excited today to have Mayor Jack Draper join us from the city of Anniston. Mayor Draper has done a tremendous job as the chief executive for the city of Anniston during his term in office. And the people of this community have been very, very fortunate to have someone of his stature, his ability, and his desire to provide outstanding leadership in the role of mayor. For the last few years, Anniston has been struggling, and there's no way to hide that. But one of the things that has happened during Mayor Draper's term is there has been a different attitude. There's been a different sense of purpose. There's been a different sense of growth, of accountability, if you will, where he has made it clear that he wants to be a partner to other municipalities in Calhoun County and surrounding counties, and he also has demonstrated his personal leadership by the different things that have been able to be introduced to the model city and the success that has been experienced by this grand old city during his term as Anniston's mayor. So we're excited to have him with us today. We want to talk about some of the great projects that he's introduced, some of the things that are currently ongoing, and some of those things that he hopes to see happen during the next couple of years that he has remaining on this particular term. So again, Mayor, we're delighted to have you today.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
That's very kind. And thank you again for your years of service.
Thank you.
You've been a good friend for a long time.
Thank you.
This region is very important to you, and
Yes,
thank
sir.
you sincerely.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So why don't you start off by telling us some of the things that you're the most excited about that are happening today, and then we'll go back and review some of the things that have happened during your term.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think first and foremost, just last night, we got an update on the execution on our comprehensive plan. The city developed a comprehensive plan last year. It was adopted, passed by the Planning Commission and the City Council. And the last 18 months, we've been executing upon that plan. A lot of great things have happened since the adoption of that plan. I even brought some notes. There's so much
Great.
going on, just for fear that I would leave something out. But we've got a new city market over by Downings across from the new federal courthouse.
Great thing.
Absolutely. It had rotated locations the last couple of years, but now that's a permanent
home.
That part of downtown in particular has been completely transformed. Where the new regional federal courthouse is where City Hall used to stand.
Right.
And so that was a really good partnership, a land swap really, with the General Services Administration. So City Hall was demolished on that site, and now we have a beautiful new regional federal courthouse, which actually puts us in the same breath with the 5 largest cities in the state, because those regional courthouses are only in Montgomery, Mobile, Birmingham, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, and now Anniston, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
So that's terribly important, not only for our city but for the entire region. But the city market, have the new Satcher Healthcare Clinic in the Glen Addy area, which is that's a tremendous partnership between the city, St. Michael's, RMC, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. That really serves an acute need in our community. And it helps the healthcare community as well. I mean,
Sure.
RMC benefits from that. We all do. But we're proud of those partnerships. And you mentioned reaching out and,
Yes,
and
sir.
partnering with others. That's a really big part of this job in my mind, in particular, and not only our local municipalities in the county, but it's important for a city like Anniston to have really good relationships with our state and federal partners.
Yes, sir.
And
Jack,
as you know,
you
yes, sir.
mentioned on your the new courthouse.
Yes, sir.
People that I talk to, they are real. Oh, got a courthouse. How's that going to benefit Anniston? But think about the people that come in for trials and stuff. The days here, and they can stay in motels. They got to stay. They eat. They got to get gasoline. They use the businesses around here to do their business at that courthouse, and they don't just come in from Sylacauga or somewhere without buying gas on the way or whatever.
Yes, sir. No,
or eating
exactly.
lunch over to Classic on Noble. And so the building, the courthouse itself, is a magnet for the business, all type business coming in that area. And people, local people that are discussing it with me, they don't see the draw. They don't understand how a courthouse could bring that many people and businesses and that.
But you're right. I mean, it is indeed economic development.
I see people going in
it does
all
bring
that,
people
yeah.
downtown.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We got a lot of great local restaurants downtown, cool specialty shops downtown. So that is a tremendous
I have to
boon
be
us.
careful here because I live in Oxford, and I don't want Charlotte and them Hubbard to hear me talk about the Classic on Noble.
I hear
But
you.
as much as you eat at Classic on Noble
I do.
and the way you promote it on social media, you can't hide that.
I know.
color.
Absolutely.
I've got to deal with Charlotte. She knows I do that.
No doubt about it. Well, we're excited to have the mayor with us today. We've just completed the first segment of the show, and of course we've got two more exciting segments to continue with before we wrap up the 44th episode of Brainstorming America. But when we return, we'll talk more about some of the outstanding projects that are currently ongoing in Anniston and where we hope to be in the future. Thank you for joining us again this week. We're excited to have you with us.
Welcome back to Brainstorming America. We're here with the mayor of Anniston, Jack Draper, and the co-host over there on the other end, John Merrill. John, what you got next?
Well, one of the things before we leave the topic, I know that the mayor wanted to express his appreciation to Congressman Mike Rogers, Senator Richard Shelby, what they did to help make that new federal courthouse a reality. Because I remember going to the old federal courthouse, Congressman Nichols' office was over there, and had meetings with him and Bob Hand and the other people that were there, and the other offices that were in that particular location at that particular time. But now, with the emphasis that y'all made on revitalizing downtown, that's like a crown jewel. And now that you got the market next to it, you were talking about Glen Addy a while ago, and one of the things that I said off the air to you, people that are not from Calhoun County, maybe they're not from Anniston, maybe they're not from Oxford, they don't know these areas, they haven't seen what had occurred there, and now what y'all have done with the revitalization effort. Talk about that.
Yeah, and John, you're right. I mean, we certainly need to give thanks to Senator Shelby and Congressman Rogers. They were instrumental not only in the regional courthouse locating where it is, but they were very helpful in the swap with GSA, because our new city hall will be at the old federal courthouse, which will help all the more with revitalizing downtown. So thanks to them and their staffs, certainly. And I want to say, too, that we continue that good working relationship with Congressman Rogers and his staff, and Senators Britt and Tuberville have been fantastic to us as well, and we really appreciate those. But yeah, John, I mean, downtown is a huge focus. So you've got not only the city market, the new regional federal courthouse, new city hall coming back downtown at Noble and 12th, the new city park there at 11th and Noble. So there's a lot of energy directed toward downtown, as it should be.
Yes, sir.
You could make the argument that downtown was neglected for many years.
Yes, sir.
And so this council in particular, and I really need to praise our city council. They have just done a fantastic job, led
and
by
Mr. Folks,
Mr.
too.
Folks, who's just a rock star. We've got a tremendous city manager. But all of that working together with God's hand is just completely on us right now, and it's almost palpable. You can feel it, and we're so appreciative of it. But the energy downtown is really, I think, even affecting the rest of the city.
Yes, sir.
Downtown belongs to everybody, without regard to what ward in the city you live in. So there will be a continued focus on downtown, and I appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, one of the things that's so important to Ken that he has invested a great part of his life in, of course, is the park. right there off Quintard. And I know we can't have you on the show and not talk about its impact in tourism, its impact in acknowledgement on a ceremonial basis regularly, and having distinguished leaders come and participate in those ceremonies. So Ken, talk about the park for a minute and what it means to you, and how we took the old Anniston High School site to really start developing that area and made it a center point of the city.
That goes back, I got 35 years up there. But the one thing that having the law enforcement memorial has turned it to another step. Bill Partridge designed a tag and got the legislature to okay a law enforcement tag. The revenue from that tag has given us the funds to do the things that we do up there. We had the guy ran through there and wrecked everything. $66,000 was the cost, and the insurance company wouldn't pay it. And I wrote checks for $66,000 on that, but they finally come through with 33, because insurance companies don't look at memorial granite with engraving on it any different than they do a piece of granite, stone, a rock in the road.
And they are vastly different, are they
And
not?
so, but it was very expensive. He ran into the fire department and a lot of other damage.
Right.
But anyhow, it's just been a blessing. People come in there. The governor's been up there 6 times, and she's been involved at 6 times. We've had our Secretary of State, John Merrill, used to come up there a lot. But,
Attorney General Marshall,
Attorney General,
frequently,
he's
right.
Congressman Rogers.
Absolutely.
Who was the congressman, the Attorney General before?
Luther Strange.
Luther
Yeah,
Strange.
he was-
Big Luther was
Yeah,
up there. And Big Luther was in tears. But he said something that you would appreciate. He told me and Bill Partridge, he says, this park, I looked over here and he said, I saw Anniston firemen, I saw Oxford firemen, I saw state troopers, I saw Calhoun County sheriffs, deputies, seen Anniston police, Oxford police, he says, and it's all shaking hands and hugging each other and all that stuff. He said, the only place, and he would get teary-eyed, that I've seen where they can all come to drop their armor at the door and be one. And I thought about that, and over the years, right before you came in, and maybe a little after you did, now we see Oxford and Anniston as sharing everything.
Right.
It's no more that us and them situation. And so it's been the park up there has been a blessing for a lot of things in that way. I remember Leon Smith. Leon, believe it or not, before when we opened up the first memorial and had visitors, reading the names on the first name is read, the mayor of Oxford read it on live TV out of Birmingham and all that stuff, and the reason he read it is the mayor of Anniston got sick. So
Yes,
I
sir.
called Leon, and he come on in. But it's brought you mentioned Richard Shelby. Richard stuck the first shovel in the ground for that up there. Several people that had a lot to do with it. Richard was up there 3 or 4 times. Bill Riley, Bob Riley, while he was a congressman, he had a lot of. It's had a lot of effects, and we appreciate you and all the folks that help us out on that thing.
It's a tremendous draw. And let me say this too, again, thanking you for your leadership there, but equally as important as it is for us to be listed, with those 5 largest cities in Alabama for the regional federal
Yes, sir.
courthouse, Anniston is the official law enforcement memorial in the state of Alabama, and we are so proud of that. And that is a tremendous draw.
It's
No
also
doubt
the-
about it. And
Yeah, it is.
we're excited to talk a little bit more about that when we return for our final segment of this week's episode of Brainstorming America.
Welcome back to Brainstorming America. Ken Rollins here, and we're talking with the mayor of Anniston, Jack Draper. Jack, when we went to the commercial, I wanted to add this. He's talking about having the official, you have 5. You have the official
Right.
law enforcement, you have the official Vietnam Memorial, you have the official firefighters, you have the official Iraq and Afghanistan. That's from legislation that I have, that I can show anybody wants to see it. We said somebody could put that up there on placards.
Yes, sir.
But those are, Anniston has 5 of the official memorials for the state of Alabama, from fire to the servicemen to firefighters and law enforcement.
And
That's heavy duty.
Yes, sir, it is. I mean, again, we are so proud of that. And that's significant. We all need to understand, not only for the city of Anniston, but for our entire region.
Well, your guy,
Yeah.
Stephen folks.
Yes, sir.
Stephen used to bring kids up there and teach them about those walls, what they mean. That name means that there was a funeral. That name means that grandmama got a call or mama got a call. He go through the whole thing. But he's no sergeant. I mean,
Who better than no drill sergeant to teach that lesson? And,
I've had to sit there and have a kid
Yeah.
sitting around and he'd put his finger on a name on that wall. Said, reckon that guy might have had the cure for cancer. And he took me to school too.
Amen.
Watching him.
Yes, sir.
You got some good help there.
Yes, sir. He's the best, truly.
Well, we're very fortunate to be able to talk about all of these outstanding things that are going on in Anniston and the plans that you have. But one of the things that I think is so very important to remember is how we got to where we are. Because I remember when I was a little boy, the first mayor that I remember in Anniston was Norwood Hodges.
Right.
And watching, of course, Tim's over at the courthouse now. And
Jackson's at the city.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
And they're both doing great work and continuing his legacy as a leader. And but I think that a lot of people don't understand the transition and what all has occurred with Anniston. That was a heavy lift for you and for the council and for Mr. Folks to get to where we are today. And I wish you'd take just a little bit to tell us some of the things that you felt like you needed to overcome, because you had to have receiving partners too.
Right.
And of course, Alton Kraft being key to that.
Who's a great mayor. Love Alton
A
Kraft.
great leader
Yeah,
and a
absolutely.
great mayor.
Sure. Yeah, I think first for Anniston, it was changing the political culture, changing the political environment. Anniston, had a pretty uniquely combative political environment, quite frankly, at the local level. You can disagree with someone, but be agreeable about
Yes, sir.
it. You can learn how to work with each other better. And I think it just took us learning how to do that, frankly. And this council in particular has done such a good job with that. Again, we don't agree on everything, nor should we. I mean, you need different ideas to reach a consensus.
Absolutely.
To fashion the best solutions. And so that was a huge part of it. And then, having a tremendous leader like Stephen Folks as city manager, he's a real rock there, so respected in the community. So I think first and foremost, we've just got a really good group working together, all guided by God's guidance and grace. I mean, many believers there, and to me that has been impactful.
Yes, sir.
God's hand has truly been on us. But when the political culture changed a little bit, and I think that it has genuinely changed, we recognize that we needed to partner with others. I mean, we're all in this together. This is an important region of the state, but we can't all carry the load. We all have to work together to make this region all that it can be. And Anniston needs to be a partner in that, a better partner than it had been in the past, really. And it's not just with Oxford, with the county, with other municipalities.
Right.
Again, our work with our federal and state partners. But that's a great point, John. I mean, it's all about partnerships. It's all about being willing to work with others for the greater good. Not only for your city, but recognizing that when Anniston is healthy, the region is healthy.
Exactly.
But when Anniston is not healthy, that has a tremendous impact on the region,
Right.
and we're cognizant of that.
And removing artificial boundaries really says so much about the lack of ego and the lack of pride and I don't mean civic pride, I mean saying that I'm the best,
Right,
we're the
right.
best, it's got to be this way, it's always been this way, but understanding that things change. And when you embrace that and you say, we're going to move forward from this point, because removing artificial boundaries helps everybody. It really sends a clear message to other parts of the state, and that's one of the reasons why I think that this being the center focal point economically, culturally, educationally of North and East Alabama is so very important. And
Yes, sir.
Anniston's got to be right in the middle of that.
Absolutely.
One
Yeah.
other thing that Anniston, your group or the group at the dais, you got Sierra, very young lady, been on this show, very impressive. And you got the other gentleman, I haven't met him, but you've got
Denny
your
Roberts, he's a great guy.
Is
Yeah,
he?
yep.
You got Millie down there that's got experience. You got Jay Jenkins. Now Jay is an architect, but he's an architect 24/7.
He is.
He's sitting there at the table working for the city of Anniston, but in his head, the decisions that are made, that y'all make, that all, he's doing it from architectural.
Right, right.
He does it with me up there in the park that y'all don't even know about. He'll give me advice, but it's architectural advice that don't cost me nothing because but what I'm saying, the city is having somebody like Millie, school teacher, and then having that young girl that brings the younger group of people in from Anniston with a different look. She has a different, sitting here, she gave me a different look upon perspective of what the others that I know in the past did.
Right, right.
It wasn't about me. It was about the city, what she wanted to see for her city, the city on the hill or whatever, but she has a vision.
Right.
And so I tell you, all of that makes it better for the mayor.
Oh, it does. I mean, again, we're all five working together. Mr. Folks is there, all bringing different perspectives, different backgrounds, and Dee Dee, I mean, his background is in logistics and administration. So we bring different talents to the table, and Jay's been certainly key with economic development. But again, everybody just does so much, and it's a blessing to me to be a part of a team like that.
Yes, sir.
And it really is a team. It's not about any single one of us, nor should it be.
Right. We're so delighted that you chose to join us
Thank
today,
y'all.
Mayor. We have less than 30 seconds left. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the viewers before we leave this episode today?
Well, I'd just like to wish everyone happy holidays. Have a great time with their family and friends over these next few weeks. But just stay with us in Anniston. There are so many good things going on, but it takes all of us working together. It's not just the council. It's not just the city government. It's the community at whole, the region at large. And again, we're thankful to be a part of that, looking forward to great things to come.
Thanks for your leadership. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on another edition of Brainstorming America.